favorite PJs and let's dish on these movies. Everyone, welcome to Pep Talks. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am your host, Peppermint. Hello. Pep Talks is the interactive weekly interview show which covers hot topics and commentary on notable Black cinema throughout history. And each week, I invite each and every one of you to throw on your PJs, your mud mask, and get comfy with me and my celebrity guest, where we dish our takes on my favorite movies, trends, and products. This is basically a celebration of all things that I love: makeup, Black culture, and connecting with each and every one of you. Now, I will be in the comments, so if you see me looking down, that means I'm trying to see what y'all talking about, okay? So today's special guest and movie are Senator Jennings and Coach Carter. But first, before we get into it, I have a question of the day. Why do dozens of chargers for all of my devices they just basically all come in 3 inches? Like, why do they make 3-inch USB charging cords? Why do they make them? I don't know why. I have a million things. Everything uses a charging cable these days, and I have 99 of them are 3 inches, and nobody wants nothing that's 3 inches. Now, let's welcome my fabulous guest this evening. He's a dear friend. Put your hands together for Senator Jennings. Hiya.
Hands are together for Senator Jennings. What's up, Peppermint?
Hi, my darling. Let me just turn on this monitor. I don't think it's going to work. Fuck it. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. All this anti-trans legislation has definitely put a damper in my mood. But, besides that,
Me too.
life is good. Living my best life, controlling what I can control, and just happy to be hanging out with you on Pep Talks.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah, this anti-trans legislation is quite a doozy. I guess the conservative people were like, "Oh, y'all thought we were finished,"
Oh,
and now
no.
they're like, "No, they are not
I got a little
finished."
emotional earlier talking about it on a Instagram live with someone, just talking about oh, allyship, Sandra, you were talking about this. How does it affect you? And I'm like, well, I had to watch my sister get banned for 2 years from playing soccer, and I had to watch her go through that struggle. So it definitely brings back a piece of my heart and core, and that's why I'm so passionate. It brought the family together. We got all this background behind me where we filmed a bunch of videos, and it's in Yahoo News now. It's all over the place, where we're just trying to raise awareness about these terrible pieces of anti-trans legislation that have really taken for a storm in the last couple of days and weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's quite upsetting, but I know. Look, we apparently we have a little bit of something we had a little bit of something to celebrate in South Dakota.
Yes.
And so that's nice, but we have to keep fighting. Now we're focused on Arkansas.
Florida tomorrow too.
Florida tomorrow?
Florida tomorrow. They're discussing something about healthcare. My mom was on the call with senators today, and I think my mom's watching. So shout out to my mom. I think she's watching.
Hi, Jeanette. Hello, my love.
But yeah, there's so many more that we don't even know. We maybe we're not even paying enough attention to, but there's just so many. But I know obviously Chase is tweeting about all of them, and we're seeing a lot, but there's so many.
There's so many. I just joined the ACLU as their ambassador to trans justice. We're going to announce it later on this week, so it's a secret right now. But and so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to use my platform in an even more informed way.
Yep. So I'm always here to work and help you out with anything, and I'm happy to be on Pep Talks talking about this stuff too.
Well, if you are watching on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, please check out the link in my description or my Twitch profile to leave a tip to support the production of this show, because it is free to watch, but it's not free to put on. Please donate by hitting the tip button so that we can bring you the very best every single week. Can we take a look at the person behind the screen? Raif, are you ready? We might as well insert that this is the moment where I will be bringing you in.
Great.
Hey.
Hi, my love. Everyone, this is Raif,
everyone.
our producer for Pep Talks. And you are in the captain's seat. I'm so excited. Hi, Captain.
Captain.
Okay, fine. I'm like, hi, Captain. You're like, I love you. You're the best. Okay, go back to work. Okay, Sander, question for ya. Let's just break the ice. On the wall in the bathroom, toilet paper, over or under? On the roll.
Wait, what?
Toilet paper comes on a roll.
Yep.
The roll is usually on the wall, like on.
Is it all connected to the thing, or is it on the floor type thing?
No. Oh my gosh, what a college student. No. When the toilet paper is on the roll, when you run out of toilet paper and you go to get a new roll and you're going to put it on the dispenser.
Yes.
Which way do you put it? Do you put it so that the toilet paper comes over the roll, or do you put it so that the sheets come under the roll? Do you understand the question?
I think I twist under, to be honest. It depends. Depends if it's a doozy or not. You know what I'm saying?
On what? Okay.
If it's a doozy or not. Depends what I ate for dinner, really.
I'm talking about.
If it's like one that I'm like enjoying and relaxing.
Whoa, Sander. We're talking about how do you put the toilet paper roll on the dispenser?
How do I just put it on? I just stick it. I don't think about that. I thought you were talking about like when you're like.
No. I know what you thought I was asking. I'm asking, how do you put it on the dispenser? When you like to reach for a fresh piece of toilet paper, do you like it to roll over top of the roll or underneath the roll? When you're reaching for a fresh piece?
That's what I'm explaining to you. So it really depends. Sometimes I wish it was up, over, and sometimes I wish it was under.
Why?
I get it, but I just think I'm thinking about it from more of my experiences when I'm on the.
Okay, well that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so sometimes under, sometimes over. Depending if I'm on a quick. Try to get.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Trying if it's like a quick one or if it's like to relax and enjoy. Someone said my mom does it for me. My mom is here watching, and I think she can verify she does not wipe my ass.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, that's cool. It's the jury's still out.
She's the one who commented that. That was my mom who said that.
Oh, it was?
Oh, she's saying she said I leave it empty and she puts on the toilet paper roll. That might be right.
Oh, I believe that. After that answer, I believe it. Raif, did you change my microphone? I'm not still on the performance mic, am I? Just making sure. No, I'm not. Can you hear me right now, Sander?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I have a question. Let's say you won the lottery. What would you do with $1 million right now?
$1 million right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably invest a good amount of it. I would invest it into stocks. I'd invest it into the business that I'm starting. And I would keep some locked away in savings. I'd donate some to charities where I see fit. And obviously, I would do something nice for the people I love most. But $1 million, if you're talking like $100 million, now we're talking a lot more different things. But if you're talking just straight up $1 million, like, then I'm going to keep it more.
I'm talking $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million. I'm keeping it conservative. I'm 23. $1 million won't last me my whole lifetime. So I'm definitely going to want to keep it conservative, save some of it up, put some into stock so it grows. Be smart with it.
Okay. I have a question for you. What is the one message that you have for cisgender heterosexual folks?
My one message that I have for cisgender heterosexual folks is that you do not have to identify within the LGBTQ plus community to support the LGBTQ plus community. It's easy to support your LGBTQ plus friends, family, and neighbor, and more cisgender and heterosexual people need to be doing that. Not to be afraid of what other people are going to think, because if you are passionate about supporting people in the community and you love them, then you need to be there for them, especially during times like these where there's a lot of anti-trans and a bunch of different A lot of the Black trans community faces a lot of murders, and we all need to be talking about it, and we need to be raising awareness, and it includes cisgender and heterosexual people. One more thing I'll add is 95.6% of the population identifies as straight heterosexual. Only 5.6 is the new study I just read, saw it recently, identifies LGBTQ+. So we are part of the majority, and we need to be helping the minority, which is the LGBTQ+ community. We need to be recognizing how important it is for us to be supporting and be there for our LGBTQ+ counterparts.
Are you doing anything special? This is Transgender Awareness Week, which ends with Transgender Day of Visibility, for those of you that don't know, on the 31st of March. Are you doing anything special for Transgender Awareness Week or Trans Day of Visibility?
Of course. I mean, I've made 2 posts already on my social media about the anti-trans legislation. I edited a bunch of videos for that. I also gathered together a group about 8 to 10 transgender individuals, and I edited a whole video for them. I'm not even in the video. I just edited for them. I might even post it on my Instagram, amplifying their voice, creating visibility for them, and they're going to be doing that. And then tomorrow at 9 p.m., I will be moderating a live stream on Pride Palace's page with Peppermint. If you want to come in for 10 minutes and come say what's up, I told you about it. It's going to be at 9 to 10 EST time, and I gathered my friend Corey Ray and Gabe, who are both people of trans experience, who are going to be leading it. So I'm doing a lot of things. I also have created my own content with even me in it, because obviously I want to be able to spread the ally side as well as raising the awareness for the transgender individuals. I want to also create an ally video that I'm in. So I got all the content created. You know, I'm ahead of the game, and I've been working towards, I think this is Trans Week of Action, and Trans Day of Visibility is just an important part of it. But we need to keep and use Trans Day of Visibility as a steamroll forward, just because of all this anti-trans legislation and everything going on. So yeah, I'm up to a lot. I'm going to be very busy tomorrow. It's going to be fun though.
Besides what you already have going on in your life, besides what you are, like everything you already have going on, put it to the side. Besides that, if you could open another small business, what would it be? A store, an agency, a school?
I mean, does this count, the one that I started a few weeks ago?
No.
But
everything you've already started on in the past. Now, next year, if you could start a brand new business that you haven't started yet or haven't even thought of, what would it be?
But anything that I would answer, I've thought of before.
Okay, fine. Something you've thought of, but you haven't started.
Okay.
And we'll ask you what you already have in the works that you're going to announce. But I'm just asking,
So
it's going to be something that you don't usually do. Maybe outside of your box.
My master's degree, but I never really planned on putting it into action. And that would be a nonprofit based around allyship. It's called I created it already, but it was for class. It wasn't ever anything I wanted to put into action. But if I was able to make enough, have money to support myself for a while, so I could focus a little bit more on actually running a nonprofit, it would be called the Allyship Coalition. And it would be really focused on spreading this message of allyship and encouraging more allies to be the best allies possible. But really, the main thing, it's hard for me to answer this question because right now I'm so excited and fixated on what I'm doing because it's something I've always had in mind, and it's just finally I'm able to put the thoughts onto paper and I'm able to start doing it. And it's kind of just what I believe is my purpose right now.
So tell us about it.
So that is called Digi Empower. And in case anyone doesn't know, I'm a big digital creator. I love the power of short form video. And so I'm creating a company called Digi Empower that is focused on empowering emerging creators and small businesses to use the power of short form video to share their stories, passions, and skills to create their own digital empires. Digital empire doesn't mean you have to have hundreds and thousands. It's more that you are going to create a following that resonate with your messaging and that you could impact, because everyone has a story to share. And so I'm trying to help people share it through my tips and things that I've learned as a master of digital strategy. So very excited for that. And I'm hoping that a lot of people are interested in trying to share their story because I just want to empower people. That's my helping and empowering people is my favorite thing to do.
I can appreciate that. Okay, so repeat after me and then continue the sentence. You can't tell by looking at me, but
You can't tell by looking at me, but I'm actually you can't tell by looking at me, but I'm actually very emotional. People think I have like this tough skin. Another one could be you can't tell by looking at me, but I'm actually not that innocent. Everyone thinks,
those two things seem to kind of contradict. Those two messages
well, because I have two
fight
sides.
with each
I have
other. Okay.
I have this. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Sander, like you seem to have
An
everything
angel.
together, and you seem to have everything together, and you're an angel and all this stuff." But I have struggles. I have things that
Okay.
I get emotional about. If you hit my place in my heart, I can get very emotional in ways of like passion and ways of sadness. And then on the other hand, people are like, "Oh, you look so cute. You can't do anything on." It's like, no, I like to have fun. I like to do things. I'm not that innocent. Me and Peppermint have had many talks, and we had one on stereo about sex. Like, I'm not that innocent. I think some people think I'm a virgin. I've had followers ask me if I'm a virgin.
Well, hold on, honey, because we have some questions for you. Let me check the comments now. I don't even know what I can't even see the comments anymore. Can you switch over to the comments, Raif? I'm sorry. Okay, so hey from Ireland. Okay. Say what's wow. Say wow. Say what? Wow, that's wrong. What are we talking about here? Big fingers. Who has big fingers? I'm like all new in the conversation.
They're talking about the misgender students based on free speech. I did see something about that. It's terrible.
Are you talking about Brandon J.O. or Brandon J.D.?
Yeah.
Not sure if you ever saw the Sixth Circuit Federal Court ruled yesterday that professors are allowed to misgender students based on free speech. And where? Oh, Lord.
Terrible, right?
Oh, God. Look, we're going to try to fight this. Thank you so much, Brandon. Are there more? Can you scroll up in the comments, right? Like the other direction, like further? I think they come from the top, but like, is there more old ones that I missed in the bottom? No, you can't scroll. Who cares? It's in Ohio?
Yep.
Well, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Well, thank you for keeping us on top of it. By the way, I want to give a shout out to all of our mods that are in the house. I think Sleepiest, I'm not sure if they're here today, but all of our mods, we love you very much. Thank you. Let's keep going, shall we? By the way, folks, head over to my Patreon if you would like to see me and Sander talk about his biggest pet peeve, the worst meal that he ever made, what's it like being a reality TV star, and his dream reality show to be on. Ow. So now it's time to talk about the reason why we're all here is the movie Coach Carter. It's an oldie. It's not that old, but it's an oldie for you youngsters. With tough rules and academic discipline, Ken Carter, played by Samuel L. Jackson, returns to his old high school in Richmond, California, not Virginia, to get the basketball team into shape. When their grades start to suffer, Carter locks them out of the gym and shuts down their championship season and faces some serious criticism by all of the players and parents. Let's talk about it. First of all, if you've seen this movie before or watched the movie, please put into the chat a basketball. Put a basketball into the chat so that we know that you've seen it. So, Sander, what'd you say?
I'll dribble the basketball.
Ow. Dribble the ball, dribble the ball. Oh, that's a Broadway reference. I bet you probably never even heard of that show. What are your overall thoughts? Like, what's the first time you saw this movie was when? Because you said you'd seen it before.
I'm not exactly sure when. It was definitely a few years ago was the first time I saw Coach Carter, and I loved it. I just think that the movie sends such powerful messages, and I was a high school athlete. who took
Mhm.
sports very seriously. My coaches made me our whole team sit in the front row, and the camaraderie of the team was amazing. My
Really?
team also went undefeated, so I was able to resonate with that a little bit as well.
What was your team? Your sport?
I was on football, soccer, and tennis. I was a 3-sport athlete, but I'm thinking football
Oh,
is the most relatable to this because we were very
yeah.
serious and our team was really good. My team lost one year, and then we won the second year of the championship. And in the one that we won, I actually tore my ACL, so I overcame some
Mhm.
adversity there too. But I just think the messaging is super, super important, cool. The coach and how he was able to turn the program around, and the player that keeps kind of quitting and then coming back, and then his team standing up for him, doing the
Cruise?
laps with him. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know the
okay.
names too well. I'm bad with names, but
It's all good.
and the team like sticking up and running laps with the player to get him back on the team. Then him
Cruise.
suffering with his cousin being
He was
shot.
the
So
one with the gang, with the gun,
yeah,
with the gun. Okay.
yep, and just all those different things. And then overall, in the end, when he decides to lock down the gym because his players are not being excelling academically and following his rules, and I just think it teaches a valuable lesson. And for me, I'm the
What?
same way as a coach because here I'll give you an example of my life right now. Actually, so I play pickleball with Jazz, right? And in pickleball, it's like tennis. So there's two people on each side, two people on each side. So imagine the middle line is with my nose, right? And so me and Jazz are on this side. I go to get a ball. Oh, let me get the right finger. I'll go to get a ball in the front near the nose, and Jazz will be standing in the left corner or the left corner. And I'll be like, Jazz, you need to come cover your team. You need to cover the middle when I'm running for a ball in the front. And so whenever I play with Jazz, whenever she makes these mistakes, I continue to ream her. And she's like, Sandra, you got to stop being hard on me. I'm like, I'm going to keep being hard on you because this is the one lesson I want you to take away. And I feel like Coach Carter was the same way. He wanted to give them one lesson. And that lesson was that, hey, basketball might not always be there for you. So make sure school matters too. And so I think it's important that Coach Carter sent that message. And that's why I love the movie. It has powerful messages and it's a great sports story. And I love a great sports story.
Well, what did you think of the acting?
I mean, I think Samuel L. Jackson is great in everything. I think it was cool to see Channing Tatum, a young Channing Tatum, in there. I thought all the characters did a pretty good job in acting. I'm not an acting protege, as you know, so I don't look too deeply. I actually am more into sometimes this cinematic styles and everything. But I mean, I love the movie, and I am usually I'm like captured by the characters.
There were some things I liked about the movie. There were some things that weren't my favorite. I certainly loved the overall message, but to me, the message, I mean, it was very universal, like work hard and, you can't just fall back on sports. I think that's the one piece that's universal to everybody, but there was a little bit of a deeper connection to some of the story. I mean, he wasn't that explicit in saying it, but he said it quite clearly a few times, you can't always rely just on sports. It's important to apply yourself and get good grades in school so you can have a better situation. That's universal for everyone, but it's a little bit more than that for these Black men that were involved. He was saying that only 50% of the school graduates or goes to college, graduates, not even goes to college, graduates. And of that, only a certain amount of them go to college and the rest of them end up in jail. And that's not just because they don't do well in sports. It's related to them being Black men, and so I think it's really it's obviously, I can't say it's a timely story because I don't know that there's ever a time that wasn't true in this country, honestly, and so the story about like the inner city and being Black in America is a big part. Black and brown in this country is a big part of the messaging in that story. Were you ever in a situation where, as an athlete, I guess I know the answer to that question. I'm not going to ask that. But were you ever in a situation or know anyone that the consequences of not doing well in sports felt really grave, like really, the stakes were really high?
I mean,
Does
yeah,
that
I
make sense?
definitely had some friends who was like, they were the best players on the team, but everyone was kind of just like, they don't have the grades. They might not be able, no college might want to take them just because their grades aren't that high, maybe because of their background. So there's definitely was situations like that where some players had were the most maybe athletically gifted, but they were being looked over because they didn't have the grades. And those bad grades might not be entirely their fault. It might be their situation. They might have a lot to handle at home. I don't know if I had any particular friends that I had too in-depth conversations with about that type of stuff, but I know it definitely existed and happened. I know I actually had a black friend that my family, we drive. He was actually on some of my sports teams, and he didn't have anyone to take him home from school, and he lived right next door first. So for a year or two, we would take him home every single day because we were helping him out and his family. And honestly, I haven't even remembered this till now. Like, it just popped back in my head. I actually talked to the guy a couple months ago when I was in Atlanta. I didn't meet up with him, but we did reconnect a little bit, and he's doing really well. So it's good to know, but I know he just was struggling back then. So that didn't relate to the sports ball, but like, that is an experience that I do remember when I was in high school with one of my friends.
You know, this movie kind of reminded me a little bit of Lean on Me. Have you ever seen that movie or heard of it?
No, I have not.
Lean on me.
I know the song.
When you're not strong, 'cause I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Ooh, reminded me of the hot tub when we jammed to Soul Fight. You remember that?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that song is it's on the soundtrack of the movie Lean on Me, which is about Joe Clark, which is an East Coast story, not in California, about a high school principal. And it's similar. It's not sports related, but it's basically very much, this man comes in, he's the principal of the school and puts locks on the door to chain the door so that riffraff and people can't get in that don't belong in the school. And he has this really, really stern kind of way of governing the school that no one likes. And so this reminded me of that just a little bit, like taking a really severe approach. But it's really interesting because I wonder, there's one scene where he was talking to the kids. First of all, the first half of the movie, I couldn't stand it. I was like, oh my God, this is too much. And this is my first time seeing Coach Carter. The first half of the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just a basketball movie. And I'm like, it doesn't really get me. And I was a basketball cheerleader, so I can follow it, but
Yeah. See, I was able to follow it all because I like sports movies.
Yeah. But anyway, the movie got good for me halfway through after they won that first game and they went to the party. And then everything after that was kind of good for me. So we could see, okay, we won. He got them together. They won, but that's not the end. That's where like a lot of movies would end. It's like the big win and then it's over. And so I was really happy to see that it was really about everything after that win. And what they were how much work they were going to put in and sacrifice. And that there was like kind of this, I wish there'd been a scene where he, this would have been a different movie, but I wish there was a scene where he could have said, okay, like actually taken a crystal ball and shown them their future. If they almost like a Christmas story where like they show the Christmas present, past, and future, and this is what your life would be like if you don't graduate from school, if you don't go to college, and giving them a glimpse of that. I wonder if they would think it's worth it. Obviously, they do because they end up doing the schoolwork. But I wonder if that would also be a way to inspire them to be like, okay, maybe just winning the trophy isn't as important as actually applying ourselves in school. Granted, if somebody had shown me my future, I would have been like, whoa, because my what I'm doing now has nothing to do with what I studied in school, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get your grades, kids.
No,
sign into those.
Grades matter. I was married in high school. So I mean, another reason I'm able to really relate to this story, and obviously I'm white, but I was planning and I was hoping I was an all-state football kicker. Like if you look around my room, I have some
Mhm.
cool things, or it's in there.
Yeah.
And I thought I would potentially play college football. Like it was a goal of mine. And it was that or education. And once I tore my ACL,
Mhm.
the college football route really wasn't as great of an opportunity, but I still got into my dream school because I stuck to my education. And I went the education route. And of course, I miss sports this day. Right after this, I'm going to play pickleball with
Mhm.
some friends and playing some sports. Last night I played tennis, so I'm still into sports.
Tonight?
Yeah, later on after
Okay.
this. But academics is super important. That's why I'm really able to relate with the movie. That's why I said I love the movie. It's just like hits me
Mhm.
because I can relate to it in some ways. But the things that I have more trouble relating to is the stuff that you're talking about, like the coming from tougher situations, gangs, and more issues that Black people face that I don't face.
Mhm. Well, that's fair, and I think that's the I guess the connection or the intersection for this is the sports piece for you. You can
Yeah,
see how people are like how they like sports, and they are these high school kids are interested in sports and are good at sports, but it obviously isn't everything for them, or it can't be every. It's not the only thing that they need, obviously. Um, what You've spoken pretty well on how it holds, how the impact that sports has had on your life. But did this movie have any impact on your life when you first saw it?
I can't entirely remember because, like I said, it was a few years ago when I did watch it. So I'm not exactly sure if I can remember
Hmm.
how it exactly impacted my life. But I will say, obviously, having these conversations with you about the movie gives it a greater
Hmm.
impact. Hearing some more of how you feel about it is making the movie feel even more impactful to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's one. This is like so. This might seem random, but the scene where the scene where he comes back after the board votes to open the gym and unlock it. When he goes back to the gym and finds the chains on the floor, because the gym had been, that's how he locked them out, is he chained the door.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
so when he comes back and sees the chains cut on the floor, it really was like interesting to me because it almost did two. It said freedom. On one hand, it said freedom, like the chains. Him holding up the chains wasn't just about the door. It was about like these boys are finally, there's freedom because the chains are released from the door. And so there's a sense of freedom that happens there, right?
Yep.
But on the other hand, it also said to me, and this is going to be deep. This thought, it was almost like they were saying, here's some chains, and they were handing him back the chains, and the chains to me were a metaphor that he was trying to break the boys from. He was trying to break the boys from the notion that they only had the choice of sports or going into gangs. And he was trying to break them from that, but the community said, no, 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 here's those chains again. So to me, him putting those chains in the box were kind of symbolic of this sort of the chains and that bind young Black men to the many circumstances that it's really difficult for them to free themselves from. Poverty, sometimes violence, and even sports. Like, getting away from the, oh, you're a good athlete thing. Because that's a lot of times people who are not a part of the Black community will kind of assign that to Black men as, oh, you should play sports. That's what we know you're born to be good at. Um, and no one really expects them to be good at math or to be great writers or scientists, you know? And
Yeah.
so that's what those chains sort of represented to me. What do you have to say about what I just said? Does that make sense to you?
You're hitting me, Peppermint. Now you're hitting me. Now I'm like, you have me thinking, like, ooh, yeah, I guess the chains could represent that. I think it's almost like I could even think deeper. It's like you when they released the chains, I can't remember exactly, and I did not rewatch this part
It
of
was
it.
right after the meeting. Like he locked them out,
But
and then the
Coach,
whole everybody hated it. And then they had a meeting, and then the school board voted to unlock the
the
gym.
coach was walking away. Like Coach Carter was quitting, even when he had the chains in his hand. He was quitting right at that time before he decided to
Yeah,
come back. So
he said if you vote yes to unlock it, then I'm gonna quit. And so after they voted, the next scene was him. I guess he had cleared out his
locker,
his office or whatever. He was walking past the gym towards his car and saw. No, he actually was getting the empty boxes out of his car to take them to the gym to go get his stuff. And then when he got to the gym, the chains had already been cut.
It could go even deeper in my mind into thinking like going back to the cycle of, oh, it's either sports or like getting into gangs in jail. And I think if you look towards the final end note of the movie, you could think like if you open up the chain, so you let someone go free, like who maybe like, but without teaching them and giving them repercussions. And when he's like still quitting after he sees the change, it's like you're only setting them back up for failure. But
yeah, that's when.
But fortunately, these people, the team, once he quits, it's like they get chained up again. But instead, they're not chained by chains; they're chained by this Coach Carter's wisdom and what he's instilled inside them. And so it's like metaphorical chains, not real chains anymore. And now they're getting like chained back in, but not chained back into jail. They're getting chained into this lifestyle, this good lifestyle change. And that's how it kind of ends. So that's how I could tie in your metaphor of chains into a chain that he has on them now. He's now the chain. Coach Carter is the chain.
He's the chain. And that's how we saw a chain reaction.
Chain reaction.
I have a question for you. How important, given everything that we've been through in the world, how important is seeing? Okay, let me tell you. I started this show because there's a bunch of my fabulous friends who have not seen or heard of. I've seen pretty much every movie that
you love your movies.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of my friends who haven't seen many of the really great movies that I've seen that I would like, that I love, that I consider sort of classics. And so that's why I started this show, because I want to bring these Black movie classics to everyone. And so, sorry, I'm just going to push this on. And so how important is supporting and seeing Black films, art, music, not music. Music is doing okay, but like seeing Black films, why is it important for people who aren't necessarily Black?
I think it is important because it helps you, it helps provide education. For me, and we've had conversations like this before, I definitely wasn't I've never been racist, but I've never really been anti-racist, and watching these movies helped to teach me more about the systemic racism going on in society and educate myself. These movies do a great job in these subliminal ways, and then it helps me to then go do my own research from these movies to figure it out. Just like we talked about that one movie we watched in the past, and now this one. There's just different things that help open up your eyes to your own privileges. So helps me show me how I'm privileged and how I need to be working towards giving back in the best way possible. And yeah, so I definitely think it's important. I think in media, all marginalized communities need to be in media more. There needs to be more movies, and there needs to be more people playing the parts of marginalized people, and these storylines need to be surrounded around the Black community, the LGBTQ plus community, and we need the characters being played by Black people and LGBTQ plus people. It's the representation is so important, and hopefully there'll be a lot more great films in the future. I'm sure there will be, but watching the old ones is also important too, because looking at the past helps to make sure that the future is not rewritten in the same way.
Wow, I think that's how I like that answer. That's a very good answer. I agree. Here. We have a comment from someone named Casey, who is a supporter and I think donated $10 today. That's great. Can we scroll up, Raif? I can only see the word 10. If we can scroll up a little bit. But Casey has a comment, which I can't see. Oh, okay. I'll scroll up. Hold on. I saw that you put it on there, but it was just too low on the thing. It says, "Adore both of you, Pep. You inspire me." Oh, so thank you so much, Casey. I adore you very much as well. So thank you for that. Just another reminder before the show, we talked about Sanders' biggest pet peeve, the worst meal that he's ever made. What's it like being a reality TV star on I Am Jazz, and his dream reality show to be on, that he would want to be on one that's already, his dream reality show. Okay, so Sander, I want to say thank you so much. And it was great watching this movie with you and chatting with you. I want to make sure that you all go and follow Sander on all of his social media, which is Sander_54.
Yeah, just go to Miss Peppermint's story, and she just tagged me in a story earlier, so you guys can find me, or one of her most recent posts. That's the best way to find me. Normally, I have my whole link tree with all my other places to find me just in my Instagram bio, but I'm promoting the anti-trans legislation right now. But if you want to find me on TikTok, you could just look up Sander Jennings, and my name should pop up on TikTok. I do have a check mark. I have a YouTube, Sander Jennings. I also have a private Snapchat, Sander _. It's all Sander _ Jennings, basically. And then Instagram is the only one that's not, but you could go to Peppermint's Instagram to find me on there. I am a content creator. I do appreciate the love and support. And maybe I'm not as cool as Miss Peppermint, but I like to try to be close to as cool.
Maybe.
Undeniable.
No, that's true. You are nearly as cool. And I know that you're gonna talk to Raif. I want to say thank you so much, Sander. Everybody check out Sander. He's doing some great things, and he's one to watch. Now, goodbye, Sander. We love you. Now it's time to move to our skincare favorite product of the week. Hit that video, baby. Okay, so today's skincare product of the week is brand new. It's from Bubble Skincare. Now, Bubble is actually working with Sander's sister, Jazz Jennings. She's one of their spokesmodels. And so we decided to, in honor of the Jenningses being on the show, we decided to highlight Bubble Skincare. It's an entire line, as you can see. Today's product we are using is a mud mask. And I'm going to feature it right here. I'm going to show you right here. It comes in this big old ball. And we have a demo video that I'll play while I'm talking. It is a creamy Brazilian purple clay extravaganza that you put on, and you just wait for it to dry, like for 10 or 15 minutes, and then you rinse it off. Let me scroll up and see what the details are. Ooh. This mask gently pulls out impurities, toxins, and other pore clogging culprits for a deep skin refresh. It is fabulous. And I actually it was good. It's not, to be honest, it's not my favorite mud mask that I've used. One of the things that's really interesting, and this, I think it's marketed for like a more of a youth product. I think this is great for people who have sensitive skin. I'm no dermatologist. I think it's wonderful for folks who might be a little bit younger. And, we've all heard that younger skin, teenage age skin, young adult skin, and can be a little bit more temperamental sometimes. And so for those purposes, I think this mud mask would be great because it's not very drying. You put it on and it actually doesn't, it dries, but it doesn't really get like, it doesn't get to the point where like it would crack if you like open your mouth or moved your face. And I like my mud mask to crack. I want to feel like I'm being transported back in time with a mud mask. And so that didn't really happen for me. And so for that reason, I'm going to say it's not my favorite, but it was really nice and I really do appreciate it. Bubble has a lot of other products that they have sent me, as you can see from the little video that we have. And so I'm going to be highlighting some of their other products later on in the series. But I also want to highlight a Black-owned business. I know that it's not Black History Month anymore, which is exactly why I want to highlight a Black-owned business. We have Renaissance Afro Pick, and they sent me a fabulous product. This is a pick here, and it's the result of their experience in the world being from a very unorthodox and diverse family that allowed the freedom to choose their own paths. They've had the opportunity to explore vastness of human experience and specifically how we all fit into that experience while also recognizing and celebrating our differences. So they have the Afro Pick. These are the Walker boys. And you can visit, it's actually, it's a pick. This is a nice one. They have a whole line of products available and you can visit them at AfroPick and then underscore. AfroPick underscore. And then we can use the hashtags Afro. If you're looking for a pick or like some kind of comb or something like that, go and check out the rest of their hair styling tools because it's pretty cool. And I love this handle here. It kind of has like a graffiti-esque motif going on. It's painted, super colorful, and also makes a great back scratcher. I know that's probably a little, it's for your hair, but it makes a great back scratcher. Now it is time. Wait, can we scroll up, Raif? Thank you very much. Oh, it costs $19 and you can get it at afropick.com, I think. So if you are just joining us for the very first time, please head over to my Patreon to see everything that you just missed. Now, this is normally the part in the show where we would spin the wheel to let you know what next week's movie is going to be and who the guest is going to be. But hello, darling, next week's movie and guest are a major surprise. We'll be announcing this on Saturday morning on my social media, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And then once we announce it, then you can make sure to watch the movie beforehand. It's probably something that some of y'all have seen. So just be ready.